Welcome to Richmond, a lovely suburb of London, and we're going to head into the White Cross pub, which is the pub that floods. So here we are in beautiful Richmond. There's the River Thames right in front of us, and here is the White Cross. And we're going to check out their beer garden because it's very different. And we're going to sit in the beer garden as the River Thames rises up. So as you can see, I'll just point you down here, the tide is just lapping at the edge of the road, but it's coming up. I can see it getting higher and higher. You can see it just down here. It's creeping up because we're not quite at high tide yet. So high tide is about 45 minutes away. And I'm told once it reaches 4.5 meters, it will burst the banks of the river. So we've already reached 4.5 meters. And today is actually 4.6 meters, it's predicted to be anyway. There's the beer garden. You can just see the water making its way inside the beer garden now. It's just rising up to the bottom. We're just about to make our way out into the beer garden, and everybody's heading back inside because the tide is heading in now. So there you go. As we head down the steps, you can see it's already reached the bottom, and everybody's vacated the beer garden before it comes in, because once it fills up, you basically have to stay there unless you own a big pair of wellies to head inside the pub. You can do table service on here. So you'd think that people would hang around the beer garden, but a lot of them have cleared, apart from the people on the higher bit at the back there. And as you can see, people are very hesitant to make their way down. Oh, we've got somebody in barefoot there, look. So how unique is this? A beer garden that actually floods, and for about an hour you're sat underwater pretty much. So you can stay on the table and you can order food, and the staff will come out and serve you drinks and food at your table wearing wellies. So they'll put them on and bring the food out, get themselves wet. Now obviously a lot of the tables and the benches here are raised above the floor, so you're actually off the ground. And I think it only comes up to about a foot off the floor, but it's enough to soak you through. And if you're wearing wellies or barefoot, then you can obviously trudge through it. So another 5 minutes later, the water's made its way around there. It's going to work its way around and fill all this area in. Now, she did tell me just now it will get up to maybe the first step here, which is about a foot off the floor. And she did say today it's actually coming in a lot faster than it normally does, because she thinks they may have opened a lock further down the river, which has caused it to rise pretty rapidly. Because it did, I mean, you could actually see it on the camera coming in. Okay, we've braved it. So I've sat at a table just at the gateway here, and we had to step across a couple of inches of water. And now I'm sat raised off the floor, as you can see. So I won't get wet here. But I've got an easy escape route because I can just jump onto the stairs. But you can see it's still coming in, and it's still people getting wet feet as well. But it's coming in, it's still rising. So yeah, I'm curious to see how deep this actually gets. Now I have seen it when they've had really high tides in the past, where this garden has been a couple of feet underwater, and there's people sat on the tables waiting for the tide to go back down so they can leave. It's just so surreal to watch. Like I said, today is only 10 centimeters over the actual breaching of the banks down there. So this could be it. I'm not sure. We'll find out. But here's my escape route if I need it. I can just climb over this railing straight into the pub,
Top man, top man.
So I think that's it for the level today, because you can just see where it's gone up and then it's come back a little bit. So it could be dependent on the locks on the river as well, because they do have locks up and down here. So it could be dependent on them filling up and releasing. So it may go up again. We may get another surge later on. But I'll let you know if we do. But for now, it's probably a couple of centimetres deep here, and then down there probably a good 10 centimetres, which would make sense because the riverbank is literally through here. And he did say 4.6 metres, which is obviously 10 centimetres over the riverbank there. So like I say, if you want to see this in the beer garden, it is dependent on the tide times. So it's at high tide and it has to be above 4.5 metres. So what you're best doing is checking the tide times for Richmond on the internet. So just Google it. But also if you go on the website for the pub, and I'll put a link in the description for this video, they actually have the tide times on their website, and it'll tell you at what point the tide is going to rise above the 4.5 metres required to come into the beer garden. And I've been told it's been a lot higher than this in the past, and it can go, obviously it varies depending on the time of the year as well. But it's only a couple of times a month that it actually does it, it breaches the 4.5 metres. And it just so happened that I was in London for 3 days, and one of those days it was over 4.5 metres. So there you go, delivered directly to the table. Amazing. So you don't even have to get your feet wet, and all the staff are wearing wellies already.
10 to, oh, okay, that's all right. See, I came before the waves came back. You're going to get those sleigh sheets really wet now.
There we go, literally half an hour later, and it's already receded. It's now passable again to the steps, and you can see where the water level came up to just here. It's now down to sort of here in the middle. Let's just have a quick look outside the pub gates. So like I said, it's now making its way back down, and you can just see there, look, it's now off the pathway here, so you can make it round the front here and into the beer garden from this side now. Whereas before, this was completely submerged and you couldn't make it down the side of the pub. You'd have had to go in the pub and down these stairs to get in. But yeah, it's slowly receding now. The actual roadway is just under there, probably a foot down there. So I'm hoping before we leave, it's back at the river level, at the normal level, shall I say. But yeah, if we just head round here, you can just see where it was. You can see the tide mark on the left there. And when we came down earlier, it was up to the edge of the road there. But yeah, believe it or not, there's actually a boat slipway just here, which heads down to the river, so you can see how far up it's gone. Oh, we've got a surge of water coming in. Just wet my feet. I think a boat's just gone past. So yeah, there's a slipway just there. It's about a good 6-7 feet down. I've seen a video of a car parked in there when the tide came in. They obviously didn't know. But yeah, what a beautiful place Richmond is. I've never been here before, but it's really scenic. So now the water's receded. The people are heading back outside into the beer garden now. They didn't want to be stranded in here, so they've all made their way back outside. I mean, the weather especially for October, is actually really, really mild today. And there we have it. It's finally receded off the roadway, which I'm currently stood on, and it's just making its way down the bank of the river, as you can see on here. And there it is. It's now at the normal, or almost at the normal river level, which is right here. So there you go. It must be below 4.5 meters now, which, like I said, is the threshold of when it breaches the roadway here. And there you go. How unique is that? Well, there you go. Thank you very much for joining us here at the pub that floods, which is the White Cross in Richmond in London. And if you fancy popping down, it's easy to find. Just Google the White Cross and it'll take you straight here. And again, on their website, they do have their tide times displayed on there. And if it breaches 4.5 meters, then you can sit in the beer garden and enjoy a pint underwater. So from Richmond, I'll see you in the next video next week. Thanks for joining us. Bye for now.